Hi there! This is going to be all about water management.
And water, that is important. Regardless of what you're doing in the outdoors, you're depending on it, so pay attention. The first issue we want to address water management from is your personal experience and health and well-being for you when you're out. What's your thinking about that?
Well, basically, you need water to survive.
Yeah, I mean, you can stay without food for 3 weeks or something like that, but without water?
Maximum 3 days, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as soon as you get dehydrated, you're going to notice on your body functions that you're not going to work properly, and your brain is going to slow down, and obviously you have to pay attention also to, I mean, is it a lot of sun, a lot of wind? Those factors also speed the dehydration process.
Yeah. If you're on altitude,
exactly.
You need to drink way much more.
Yeah.
If you're out in the cold weather, you also need to add water because you need the moisture from your body to moisturize the air that you breathe.
So, I mean, that was a little bit about the health issue, but what about the environment and what?
Yeah, I mean, that's crucial in order to have access to fresh water. And I mean, we're in Sweden right now and we are blessed with access to fresh water. Most areas on the globe are not that blessed, and you really need to make manual action in order to get access to fresh water.
What about how we act out in nature in order not to pollute?
Managing the water and keeping it fresh is crucial. So, I mean, the basic fundamentals is, of course, not to destroy anything, not to disturb anything, and always bring back what you brought out. But in special regards to water, I mean, doing your dishes, don't do that in the water. Take out the water and wash on land. And the same goes for doing your toilet needs. Don't do that in the water, do that on land, so that everything that goes out from your body gets filtered at least through the ground before reaching any water source.
So you mentioned a little bit how to act in order not to pollute, but what if the water really or already is polluted?
That's a really good question. If the water is already polluted, or if you're unsure, which you are in most situations actually, then there are different techniques to manage that. And let's go and find the water source and see if we can drink it. Finally, some water.
Yes.
Yeah, we found like a natural spring.
Yes, this is an area where at least I haven't been trekking before, but we did some research and found the natural spring on the map. And that's a really good idea, I think, to always bring out the map and do your research in order to plan your trek and the ability to find water.
Exactly. I mean, you're dependent on water and you don't want to carry water for too long, more than necessary at least. So if you're able to find sources along the trail, you know that you can refill and rehydrate.
For my part, I always keep a full cup in my front pocket.
This is like the hipster version with a metal mug on the backpack. I'm gonna go get some water. Cheers!
Cheers! Gott.
Really nice. Let's bring some water to the campsite.
Yeah. And I mean, there are many different ways to do that. You can bring a lot of bottles and fill up, but
I have my favorite item. So, reached a nice camp spot for the day. We made a short stop on the way. We took some water out of the creek, and we also found a natural spring where we were able to get some fresh water. But how much water do you usually carry, and how do you carry it?
That's a good question. I think I'll start with the thing you mentioned about the natural spring, where we took out some fresh water, because I think one important part is to know the area where you're trekking. So you can have a look at a map. I mean, this natural spring that we found, it was marked out on the map, so we knew from the start that we were able to get fresh water there. And that's the sort of things it makes it much easier if you know those things when you plan your water. So since I knew that, I would have brought a water bottle like this with fresh water from home.
Yeah, like a liter.
A liter, more or less. If I am trekking in the mountains where I know there's going to be plenty of fresh water all along the way, maybe I only have 1/2 liter in the bag with water, more or less as a safety measure, and then I use a full cup and I drink some sips from every stream that I pass.
Yeah, I mean, and the cup is essential.
Yeah.
You never know when you're going to get offered coffee.
Oh, exactly. So always keep that one in your pocket, I'd say.
For sure.
But then again, if I'm doing a fast trek, if I'm working really hard,
running,
then maybe I would use something like this, a bladder.
Yeah.
So I can have sips all the time. What other factors do you have to consider when you?
I like the fact that you point out to never run dry. Always have some spare water in your pack, warm in the winter or cold in the summer, so that it's almost a part of your first aid equipment, because dehydration is such it's a quite dangerous situation, especially if you are in an exposed area where you are dependent on swift and accurate decision making, and that you don't want to stumble or fall or get impaired by loss of motoric skills.
Behind us we have a lake, potentially fresh water.
Yeah.
But if we're not sure if we can rely on the quality, how do we?
Yeah, I mean, you need to make sure that the water is fresh before you start to drink it, and the most convenient way, I think, is to use like a filter solution, like the one we used up at the creek. This one, it's a filter that you fill up and just press the filter cassette here through, and then you have fresh water inside of the canister. Really simple and convenient.
What type of water sources can you use it for?
You can use this for pretty much any water source. We use this one at Fjallraven Classic in the US on high altitude. We have used it in Fjallraven Classic in Hong Kong. There is a lot of fresh water, but you can't rely on the sources. So with this one, you can potentially take like water from a pool next to the highway and filter it, and you're good to drink.
The quality is going to be good enough.
It's going to be
I guess salt water.
You can't filter salt water. So if you are in areas with only salt water, you need to make sure that you have access to fresh water. So again, like you said, it comes back to planning and knowing what you have access to. And I mean, here's another solution. Here, the filter is inside from the drinking nozzle, so you can pretty much drink. This is water from this lake, so good to go. But then, I mean, it's mine. I don't share this one with you. But this is lightweight and easy to bring and easy to fill, and when it's empty, it's takes no space.
Mm. And then another part is that, keeping your body hydrated also keeps the body to pick up the nutrition from the food that you eat.
Yeah, if you only eat and don't drink, the absorption of the nutrition is much lower. Mm. Yeah, for sure. Okay.
With that said,
so cheerio.
Cheers. Drink up.
Stay hydrated, see you out on the trail, and click and subscribe.